and it's like, what? Really dislike Barbara. How many women does it take to put up a 10? Hello and welcome to the Atmosphere reading vlog. Now, I have a cool little handheld tripod-y thing, so I'm filming with that. We are moving. We are, sorry, I've probably just given you like complete motion sickness, but we are about to start reading Atmosphere and I am super excited. A lot of the girls in the club have already started reading it and their reactions are telling me I need to read this ASAP. All I need to do is not break the spine. I'm trying to do it so I don't break the spine. I need to spine train it. Then I am going to sit on YouTube doing some live reading sprints and we are going to read this book. Now, I don't know much about it other than it is about an astronaut. So let's read the blurb and see what we're talking about. I'm scared. But in the summer of 1980, astrophysics professor Joan Goodwin begins training to be an astronaut at Houston's Johnson Space Center alongside an exceptional group of fellow candidates: Top Gun pilot Hank Redmond, mission specialists John Griffin and Lydia Danes, warm-hearted Donna Fitzgerald, and Vanessa Ford, the magnetic and mysterious aeronautical engineer. As the new astronauts prepare for their first flights, Joan finds a passion and a love she never imagined and begins to question everything she believes about her place in the observable universe. Then in December of 1984, on mission STS-LR9, everything changes in an instant. Atmosphere is Taylor Jenkins Reid at her best, transporting readers to iconic times and places, creating complex protagonists, and telling a passionate and soaring story about the transformative power of love, this time among the stars. I mean, I like space, so I feel like I'm going to really enjoy this, but I do know that it is third person because a couple of the girls that have already read it have said that it is, and it's a little bit, the language is a little bit difficult to get on with at first, so we'll see how I get on. I am super excited, so I'm going to quickly spine train and we'll read for a little bit and see how we get on. Wish me luck. Before we get into it, I want to quickly show you, today we have been doing some work in the bedroom and it's meant that my reading room has now gone slightly less chaotic than it was before. There is still a huge hole in the wall, however it's now tidy and there isn't like clothes everywhere, so obviously that is said hole in the wall. But now we've just got this, which is not going to be here forever, but it's kind of there for now. We also have a cleared TBR cart, so I will be able to do a TBR cart and I think I'll be filming that for my channel. And then obviously I have my setup that you see behind me all the time. I have my desk and then I have my second set of shelves. So yeah, I'm super excited, super excited to have my reading room back. But this is how the bedroom is getting on. So I'm going to show you me. Obviously, I don't know if you're even going to be able to see the colour actually. It is this colour. It's a mess everywhere else, but today we have done these wardrobes, which are absolutely massive. And then yeah, the whole room is sort of like this colour. We obviously have a lot to do still. It is by no means finished, but it's more finished than it was. So I'm super excited. We made a lot of progress today. So anyway, let's actually get on with the reading sprints now. I've just finished live sprinting and I am now at page 120. I have some thoughts. So I managed to get 120 pages done, which is like a third of the book. I think there's 330 100-ish pages. I have some thoughts. I like the fact that it flits between present day and the past. However, in some ways I don't like that. Now, obviously the first chapter goes straight in there and they are, Joan is at mission control, Vanessa, Lydia, Hank and somebody else who I've forgotten are on the shuttle and all hell has broken loose. And it's like, what? And then you go back to when she started, or she applied to NASA and that whole process. And I think it's great because I get the psychology behind writing in a way like this, because she basically makes you want to continue reading so that you get back to those chapters in the present day so you find out what happens. So I love that, and it's a great way of writing a book. However, for me, it's annoying because I want to be in those pages. But then I also understand that the past pages are important to get that emotional connection. Now, I can't lie and say that the emotional connection is 100% there yet. I'm starting to feel the budding friendship, which I assume is going to be a relationship between Vanessa and Joan, and I am enjoying that. I really dislike Lydia as a character, but also I really dislike Barbara. Like, I just think she's so entitled, and why does her family tiptoe around her and give her everything that she wants just because they don't want to upset her? Like, and literally Joan looks after Francis because she doesn't want to. Like, she has weekends off where she goes to stay at Joan's. I don't know, like, just so much about her is just really frustrating, and I just really don't like her. So yeah, overall I am enjoying it. It's good. It kind of reads a bit similarly to Drowning by TJ Newman. I don't know if you've read that, but the way that it's written kind of gives me that feeling. Just a distinctive way of writing. I've been drinking, what is this? It's like Lidl's version of, oh my god, what is it? Lidl's version of Lilt. And because I don't drink fizzy drinks very often, it gives me like a weird feeling on my teeth. I don't like how it feels, but it's good, so we keep drinking. Anyway, back to the book. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying it so far. But I'm just waiting for it to be like super emotional. I did actually annotate or tab a section because I read it and I really liked it. So for some context, Vanessa asks Joan to help her with her astronomy, and so they go out and they're looking at the constellations because that's what Vanessa's struggling with, and Joan is obviously completely obsessed with them and knows them all. And when they're out, she asks about how she fell in love with astronomy, basically. And so they're talking, and then Joan says, well, we are the stars and the stars are us. Every atom in our bodies was once out there, was once a part of them. To look at the night sky is to look at parts of who you once were, who you may one day be. And as she said it, Joan could tell how lonely it must sound to find companionship with the stars. But what she meant was bigger than that. Being human was such a lonely endeavour. We alone have consciousness. We are the only intelligent life force that we know of in the galaxy. We have no one but one another. Joan was always moved by the fact that everything, all matter on Earth and beyond, up past the atmosphere, going as far as the edges of the universe as it expands farther and farther away from us, is made from the same elements. We are all made of the same things as the stars and the planets. Remembering that connection brought Joan comfort. It also brought her some sense of responsibility. And what was kinship but that? Comfort and responsibility. It sounds stupid, I know, she said. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was really like profound, like thinking about the fact that sometimes we forget that we are just matter and that everything around us is matter and that there's something bigger out there in the universe. And I don't know, kind of resonated with that a little bit. And we are the only intelligent life force, and it is kind of lonely if you think about it, but we're not, because there's so many of us around and we have so many people around us. But yeah, I thought that was kind of nice, so I highlighted it. I am intrigued to see where this goes, and I am intrigued to see if it makes me cry, because I have history of not feeling very emotional and connected to books that other people are, and it's a lot of pressure when I know people have absolutely loved it, and then I'm worried if I've built it up too much in my head and it's gonna end up disappointing me. So I'm intrigued. We shall see. I will continue tomorrow, and obviously I will keep you updated with what I think. I've had a few days off reading, and I thought I'd just start a little bit of atmosphere on my lunch break at work, and I'm at like 140-ish pages now, and I don't really have an awful lot to say about it at the moment, other than I kind of like where it's going, but it's a little bit slow on the connection for me. I think I'm roughly, I want to say just under halfway, and I'm starting to get it, but I'm not fully there yet, if that makes any sort of sense. I like the kind of theme throughout of women working at NASA and how it's obviously a very recent thing. And I actually highlighted another quote, and this is at the point where they are going camping and Joan is being helped to put her tent up by Donna, and then Lydia is putting her tent up, and they go and help Lydia as well. And then the guys all say, how many women does it take to put up a tent? And Lydia laughs at the joke, and Joan doesn't like that, and she's basically saying to them, like, why are you laughing at them, because it's making it okay. And they're saying, like, we're not yet at a point where we can fight back. Like, if we embrace who we are and, you know, tell them, you know, it's not funny to make jokes like that, or it's okay for us to cry, it doesn't mean that we can't do our job as effectively, etc, etc. They'll just say that we can't do it, rather than, you know, that they're still a minority at this point, which I find kind of sad. But also I can then reflect on how that is still an issue in today's day and age. Like, at work, if I come across as being, you know, upset about something, or I would like to say assertive about something, I would be called bossy, whereas if a guy did it, they would be assertive. And if I cry, I can't handle something, and then if a guy cries, it's like, oh, you know, he's showing everyone that it's okay not to be okay. And yeah, I don't know, like, it's a weird dynamic that it's making it clear to me that we still do kind of face some of the issues that the book vocalizes, but maybe not to the same point. And they were at that kind of turning point in life where they started having those opportunities and didn't know how to act in case those opportunities were taken away from them because they didn't act correctly, which I found kind of fascinating. And Lydia said, wait, let me go back. So Joan says, why do you do that? Do what? Laugh at those stupid jokes. I hate it when you encourage them. I think maybe you just need to lighten up. You sound like them, Donna said. Well, isn't that the point? Lydia said, dropping the centre of the tent onto the ground and giving up. If you just go with the flow, they'd stop eventually and see that we're just like them. I don't want to be like them, Joan said. We have to be like them, Lydia said. That's why they are letting women into the programme, because we have finally convinced them that we're just as good as them. She has a point, Donna said, sighing. No one at NASA is thinking, let's see how women do it. They're thinking, maybe we should give them a chance to prove that they are just like us. I mean, it's 1981, Joan, Lydia said. It's time to stop getting upset at stupid jokes and start getting stuff done. I would say the exact opposite to you, Joan countered, her breathing shallow. It's 1981 and I'm done pretending sexist jokes are funny just so men will give me a chance at something I'm probably better at than they are. Lydia shook her head. You just don't get it. It infuriates me sometimes. Before Group 8 there wasn't a single woman in this programme. All men, and every man who's been assigned on a mission has been white. I obviously know that. Group 8 they let in 6 white women, 3 black men and an Asian man. The rest of the 35, all white men. I know that too, Joan said. She's saying we're outnumbered, Donna said. Joan looked at her. NASA is run primarily by men. If we want to go up there, we have to convince a man to choose us. We have to be somebody the men here want to work with. We have to be smart. And I just thought that was, I don't know, like, it really hit me that it's kind of sort of similar now. Like, this was 1981. We are now 44 years into the future, and although it's not probably nowhere near as bad, it's still obvious that there is still some of that. And it's kind of a bit thingy because I thought that there wasn't really a difference between us anymore, or, you know, I didn't think it was as obvious as maybe sometimes it is. But I think sometimes we've just been programmed to believe that things are different. Well, maybe they're not, or not as different as they should be. I don't know, I feel like I'm just rambling, but for some reason that kind of hit me. I was like, oh, okay. But anyway, I'm going to continue reading and I'll update you later on. I just officially finished this book and I can't lie, I am so not sure what to think. I didn't film a lot of what I read because I've read like, I don't even know how many pages. I think I was on like 120 pages yesterday and I'm now at 330. So I've read a lot. I've read like 200 pages, something like that today. And yeah, I don't know. I've got a lot of thoughts. I did highlight one part which I wanted to kind of talk about, and it kind of let me start again. So I found that some of the relationships in this book I found really difficult to get invested in them. I didn't really feel pulled into them, and that is Joan and Vanessa. I don't know why, I didn't really get that like connection between them until the very end. But what I did get the connection between was Frances and Vanessa and Joan, and I really enjoyed that part. And especially when Vanessa first met Frances and she gets in the car and they ask how school was, and she says that they played kickball or something, I think, and then one of the boys in her class said that she threw like a pansy, and then Vanessa was like, he doesn't know what he's talking about, pansies are hardy flowers. What does that mean? Frances asked. It means only an idiot would try to use that as an insult. Pansies can literally survive a frost. What's a frost? Vanessa hit the gas when the light changed. She raised her voice to speak over the wind. It's when the ground freezes. The point is that when many other flowers would die from being too cold, pansies can survive. Pansies can handle it. Pansies are tough. They are beautiful and tough as nails. Really, Frances said. Joan turned to see that Frances had lit up, entirely focused on Vanessa's next word. Yeah, so you are a pansy, I bet, Vanessa said, and he's an idiot. Well, Joan said, we try not to call people idiots. Vanessa wasn't listening. Next time he says something like that, you know what to say. You tell him that you can learn to throw a ball further if you want to, but it'll always be stupid. And I just thought it was really sweet that she recognised that she wasn't doing okay, and she kind of corrected her like that and made an insult into something that was something that she could celebrate. So I really liked that, and I really liked the friendship. I really, really, really dislike Barbara. Like, Barbara will never, ever, ever, ever be a redeemable character for me. And yeah, like, no, she was vile. The fact that she sent Frances to boarding school, she couldn't see that it was her behaviour that was causing Frances's misery, essentially, and therefore she was acting out because she was a 10-year-old child that didn't know how to communicate how she felt. Like, it's a parent's responsibility to know that, and then she chose the husband over her. Like, no. And I'm so glad that Joan took her in the end, like, so glad. And obviously she got her time in space, but then she realised that it wasn't for her and she wanted to be on the ground in mission control, which was cool. I really enjoyed that. I was super tired. What other thoughts did I have on the book? Yeah, I really, really enjoyed the chapters when Vanessa was up in space. So the December 29th 1984 chapters when they're actually in the shuttle, and I kind of wish that there was more of that, because those chapters really made my heart race, and they were very suspenseful and they just gripped me and made me want to carry on reading. But I feel like I think there was 3 chapters like that. Yeah, so there was one at the start of the book, one at the 120 page ish mark, maybe slightly before that, and then there wasn't another one until the end. And I felt like if there was like a bit more back and forth between them, I'd have maybe felt a little bit more invested in the characters. And I think the ending was great. Like, I had my heart in my mouth, and I really could put myself in the shoes of Joan and how I would feel if somebody that I love was in space, whether that be, you know, Pete, or whether it be, you know, any member of my family, how I would feel if the shoe was on the other foot. And then for Vanessa to make that decision to put somebody else's life before her own, yeah, some of that was really hard hitting, and it really got me and really made me feel a lot. And then when they said she died, oh my god, I was crying, literally crying. I mean, I'll have inserted the footage by this point, but yeah. And then when she comes across on the radio, and it was just this huge thing of relief, like sense of relief, I just thought, oh wow. And especially that Lydia was alive as well, so it's like the perfect scenario. I think for me, I am one of those people where I'm really nosy and I want to know what happens after the end. Like, I want to know if they made it to their 60s and Frances stayed with them and they lived happily ever after in a world where being in love with a woman as a woman was not something that you had to hide. You know, I want to see what happened to them. Did they enjoy their life? Did they get what they wanted out of it all? Did Barbara get her comeuppance? Yeah, so I was missing that a bit for me. But what I will say is that I really want to give this 5 stars, but I just can't. The last chapter really made me feel a lot, and it was great. And if, like I say, if there was more of those chapters, it would have been a very easy 5-star. But I did feel like some of it was filler. And for me, personally, I just didn't connect that well. I know so many people that have read it in book club that absolutely loved it. absolutely loved it. It's Infinity Stars for them. It just didn't quite hit the same for me, and I'm not sure why. So that was Atmosphere. I am so glad to have read it though. It was something different for me, it was written slightly differently, and it was the first book club book. So amazing. Let me know what you rated it in the comments below, and if you made it all the way to the end of this, comment a little rocket emoji in the comments. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I shall see you for next month's book club pick, which is Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson.